Hey everybody, this is Joseph Pasek, and welcome to the Fired Up Network. Welcome to the Final Four on the ladies' side. First, we're going to start the ladies because we always have to start with the lady, and that's why we have to bring Angie here, who has been. You know what, Drew? I went back on the old time show. You lost more here now, but I went back. And Angie got 3 out of 4 right, except she picked Long Island iced tea. Woo, 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 Zach Ryder. Okay, that's what she picked. But here, you see this shirt, Drew? Michigan. Michigan. On the men's side, Michigan's still in it. On the ladies' side, they are not. So we're going to begin on the ladies' side, beginning tonight. I like this NCAA because tonight, the ladies. Tomorrow night, the men. Sunday, the final of the ladies. And Monday, the final of the men. Really, you got back to back to back. And really, it's Passover. It's Easter. So whatever you celebrate it safe, nice, and don't drink and drive. And if you drink, Angie has partaken. She will be the designated driver. Yeah, right. For the Fired Up Fan Network. So Drew, if you need help, somebody to help you out, well, because I know you drink a lot of Manischewitz wine, a lot of Canadian Club, a lot of Golden Goose, and you know a lot of Golden Chicks and everything like that. You don't know about Golden Chicks, only me. All right. So tonight,
Golden
7 o'clock. What you don't know Golden Chicks? By the way,
Golden Goose, you said. You mean Grey
no,
Goose?
Golden Goose and Golden Chick. See, you don't know anything about the Golden Chick. Now, listen, Drew. Speak about the Golden Chick. I was, they invited me, the president of Province of Canada. They invited me to, your favorite singer, Cardi B. Cardi B, we were shaking our bums like the rum on Jamaica and everything like that. What's that holiday that in August that me and you go with Jamal? Come on, what's the holiday?
You go? No, you don't go. It's Carabana.
Yeah, I go everywhere. Come on, that Civic on Civic Day. What is it, Drew? Come on, don't be.
Carabana. We just met
Yeah,
her.
Carabana. Yeah,
gosh.
Carabana. And Ange, let me tell you, if you
I've
want
been
to
to
see
Carabana
Drew,
like probably almost every year. I even used to work, fun fact, at Ontario Place. So I used to have to like parade off the parade area and like do all the events, post, pre, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
if you see
Parties
Drew
and
like you
stuff
never
too.
seen him before,
Yeah.
go to Carabana. He's shaking his rum, and I like Carabana all the time. All right, enough talking about Carabana. See, Drew gets me off topic. We talk
Me.
about Carabana because he'll have the Shanley, he'll have the we'll have the Down Paris and everything like that. So all right, we're going to go to tonight's NCAA women's basketball Final Four. Now, 7 p.m. Connecticut's favored by 7.5 over South Carolina. Of course, these games will happen at the Mortgage Mashup Center in Phoenix, Arizona. So, Drew, I'll start off with you. Number 1 seed Connecticut versus number 1 seed South Carolina. Spreads 135.5 and over under Connecticut's favored by 7.5, 7 p.m. Who do you got?
I mean, UConn, obviously, they're so tough. I mean, AZ Fudd, Sarah Strong, the incredible dynamic duo there, two of the best, in women's basketball right now. They're undefeated. They won it last year. It's going to be a tough sled for South Carolina to upset, even though they got slapped in last year's championship as well. They're a little bit better of a team. They're probably a lot better of a team this year, but I still see UConn taking that. Bianca Quinones, she's playing incredibly well also, averaging like 17 points for the tournament. It's going to be tough. Obviously, South Carolina, they're going to rely on Joyce Edwards a whole lot in this one. She was the number 3 player coming in to the season of her class, so she's definitely tough. Tanaya Larson is going to be a factor as well. And also Agat McKeer from Crestwood Prep, the Toronto native. I think she can play a factor as well. So that's my early analysis of that matchup.
What do you mean early analysis? The game's 3 hours away. What? You
No, I
make
mean, I
you
can
make an
add some
analysis at
in
9:30
after
or when the
Angie,
game's over?
Angie, I want Angie to talk a little bit. I don't want to talk everything.
All right, Angie, that's
I,
in TV business, that's called your cue.
That's my cue. I agree with everything you were saying. I was going to pick UConn anyway. I mean, they're actually also the only Final Four to make it for both men's and women's. So
Yes.
how
Both
cool would that
teams.
be if they win both of those? I saw like all the videos of the teams like celebrating after, like all the women celebrating with the guys and the guys
Right.
celebrating with the girls. And like that was just so neat. So like if one college can actually or one state can win both, I think that would be so cool.
Yeah, that would be dope. I think
That's
they've
what you
done it
want.
before, actually, too.
Yes,
UConn,
they
where they
have.
actually both won it.
Yes, they have. But here it is. Since Ananj could attest to, I'm usually like 89, 90% betting. So if I take my calculator and scratch on your head there and everything like that, I'm picking Connecticut by more than 7.5 points.
Wow.
All right. Connecticut.
Yeah, I would say they're
Write this
gonna
down.
be
Write
that
this
quick.
down, Ange, because
I
I don't
am.
want nobody to confuse. I'm willing to put money on Connecticut by more than 7.5 points.
Okay.
Now, something here in the ladies' Final Four, all teams are number one seeds.
Yes, 4
All
number
teams
ones,
are number one
4 of the
seeds.
top
That's
teams for sure.
yeah. And so no bracket busting, no whatever, because Drew, always gets his balls busted, bracket busted, whatever. All right.
Hey, I
So
got yeah, we'll talk about that anyways. Yeah, let me just add
I don't want to talk about your balls. We're already talking about basketballs.
a key for South Carolina is going to be the 3-point shot. They're shooting 37.7%. Tessa Johnson is shooting 64.7. If she can get off and they can go on a run, they have a chance. But they're going to have to stay close and keep it close. If they get to a slow start right off the bat, it's over. It's done. Fudd is just incredible. Strong is player of the year as well. AP Player of the Year on the women's side. So it's going to be super tough. And again, I mentioned Quinones inside, who scored 20 in the Elite Eight win over Notre Dame. So quite the trio there for UConn. And, Coach Oriema has just got this team rolling. He's had so many great runs with the UConn program. I mean, what he's doing now is incredible. I got a chance to see them up front, up close. When they came and played at TMU as well a couple years ago. So it's a machine that Gino's running. And it's funny, I don't know if you guys saw the Syracuse coach was kind of crying about being in the same bracket as UConn.
Yes.
I think the NCAA was trying to look at cost savings for some of the teams and programs. But they would rather travel maybe to the West Coast in order to avoid UConn. I can kind of see where she's coming from, but I think that's something maybe you lobby the NCAA behind the scenes instead of putting that out in the public. It makes you look kind of like you don't want to face stiff competition.
You're already almost admitting like failure or a loss.
Right.
Like you're almost saying like, yeah, well, it's a guaranteed loss, so it's like a waste of our time, which I agree with you. I think that's something that, you keep to the locker room or like behind closed doors in your office.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So that's 7 o'clock game tonight. First half of Final Four. I see Connecticut and all of us are pretty much in agreement with that.
Yeah.
Now, the second game, I think it's going to be a doozy. I think it's going to be much closer than people think. I think this may be going even to overtime. It's UCLA, so shout out to our buddy Tracy Murray, number one seed UCLA up against number one seed Texas. Texas is favored by 2.5. Game time 9:30. Again, number one seed versus number one seed. So we'll start off with Angie in this one. I know she's going to get me crap because, I want to hear what Drew says. And I agree with Drew and then whatever.
No.
Start off.
No. This one I actually have some opinions on. I think, like you said, it's going to be a very close, tight game. It might be one of those quick, buzzer beater shots that wins it. I think if you're going to watch any games, this is the one to watch for sure. I think, they're going to have very, very high octane offense and super, super elite defense. Like I said, I think this will be the game to watch of the tournament for sure.
All right. And by the way, I'll ask Drew his pick, but today also for WNBA, it's the expansion draft and already a couple trades happening. Toronto Temple and Portland Fire coming. We'll talk about this after Drew picks his pick. And by the way, Ange has nothing to do on Good Friday but eat fish. So maybe me. What are you laughing for? I'm Jewish. I don't know what you're talking about. Maybe me and Ange will be back here breaking down the Temple's picks. Drew, I know you will not be, because when it comes to fish and getting the fish and all that, you like the halibut. Go ahead, Drew.
The halibut. I don't know. I don't know if this game's going to be as close. I'd like to see it close. Texas actually beat UCLA earlier this season pretty soundly as well. Obviously, to beat a team twice is going to be a tough sked, but Texas's defense is insane. Rory Harmon, she's incredible. She's got the third best assist to turnover ratio in the country. This tournament, I believe she has 29 assists and like 9 turnovers. Madison Booker, what are you going to say? I mean, she might be, the best player left in the tournament or close to it. If you add in Fudd and Strong, she's at least, top 3, if not the number 1 player. She's tough, got the mid-range game, kind of models her game after KD. Has got the moves in the post, can fade away, can hit the 3, and super tough for her. So it's going to be hard to stop her. She's averaging 22.5 for the tournament as well. And shooting almost 60%, guys. We saw the last game against Texas and Michigan. That was an absolute drubbing. I was hoping, that Silasores was going to kind of be able to, the Canadian was going to be able to do some damage against Texas, but the defense is just swarming. Again, UCLA, Lauren Betts, tough, 6'7" center. Inside, she is going to have to play out of this world. And also the guards on UCLA had a tough time the last game and the last matchup. Everybody on UCLA is going to essentially have to have a game of their lives in order to beat this Texas team. It could be close. I mean, if Texas cools off, as you guys said, you're hoping for a close game. It could be. If they have a bad shooting night, for sure, because UCLA's offense is insane. Like, they can put points on the board. But if that's not the case, and Texas is hitting and they're scoring their layups early, it could be night like what happened to Michigan.
I just want to add too, I just noticed these are the same 4
So in other words, Ange,
as last year.
Yes, they are. Yep.
Which is the same. I just Googled it because that part I didn't know. Is that this has not happened, or it has only happened once before, 1995 and 1996. On the
girls' side, women's side?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it is. Yeah. I did have that in my notes as well, that 4 came back to back.
Hold on. First of all, I'm going to take issue to whatever you said. You make notes. Second of all, for people who don't understand, no, you make notes. Drew doesn't make notes.
He does. You're writing. He does.
No, he does. Show me your notes.
I got my
Show
notes.
me your notes.
He does.
Yeah.
I got my notes.
Look, why does that say Raptors in Boston?
Raptors.
What does that say?
I don't want to
Raptors in Boston. It says,
Can you read? It says.
Wait a minute. And he made so many notes.
Can you read?
Yeah. What does it say? Here, wait. Zoom it. Where's the producer? Zoom it.
It literally says March Madness men's and women's notes.
Yeah, and there's nothing on the page. There's nothing. It says March Madness. Yeah, look, Joe is so sexy today.
That's my women's notes, buddy.
All right.
I'm thorough.
Yeah, thorough. There's nothing on the page. That's thorough. And for people who don't understand what Drew said when he was making his soliloquy, he said it could be It could be UCLA. It could be Texas. It could be big. It could be small. That's why they play basketball. Sometimes you win. Sometimes they lose. Sometimes you go to overtime. Sometimes the coaches fight. Sometimes there's a fights in the crowd. Sometimes there's fights in
All
the
right,
stand.
get to it.
Yeah,
All
who are
right.
you picking?
So I want your pick, Drew. I want your pick. Who's your pick?
My
UCLA
pick
Bruins.
is Texas. My pick is Texas, okay? And
Okay, his
UConn.
pick
Is that good enough?
No, it's
Who
not
are you
Texas.
pick? I was going to say Texas,
Texas.
but I don't want to.
No, you're
I don't
scared
know.
now. Who are you picking?
No, I literally highlighted Texas, but I also don't want to always agree with Drew. So if you're both going to say Texas, then I'm going to say UCLA.
There's nothing wrong with agreeing with me. That's for
I know,
sure.
it's true.
You're going to be wrong. Okay, show the paper. Let me see.
Yeah, look,
Where's
I highlighted
highlighted?
it. See?
Where is it
Texas,
highlighted? Where?
Right here. UCLA versus
I see blue
Texas.
fingernails. That's what I see with blue writing. And you're telling me
Sure.
you wrote that? See, that's Drew. I can tell you one thing. Okay,
this is
hold on.
note taking.
Yeah, listen. Yes, congratulations. I am gonna say this. That's how you do notes, Drew. I know for a fact you did not type out anything on your piece of paper.
Hey,
Okay,
go with what you think.
Because listen, I know you have assistants and all that, and I know who's your assistant for 905. You watched the 905. How can you go to the 37-13 team and playing amazing? And this was the Collge Savage. They're amazing. You gotta go watch it. And then they're amazing. And they lose by 15 at home on a playoff game. Nobody's saying nothing, eh?
We're talking NCAA women's basketball. Right?
Okay,
you're sounding like a certain. You're sounding like a certain president going all over the place and hitting all sorts of millions of topics.
This might be the biggest compliment you ever gave me. A certain president? You mean the president of the provinces of Canada? The guy who has great hair? Look at my hair today, man. Like I just came out of the shower. The new look for 2027, Drew. Look. See, that's the new look. Okay.
Ooh.
All right.
Okay.
She loves me. You heard what she said. She loves me. All right. So, Drew, you're picking Texas, right?
Yes, sir. Texas versus UConn in the national championship game.
Texas.
So, you guys are going on Texas. By the way, did I say it's going to be Connecticut? And it's going to be a shout out to my close, good personal friend, the long-range bomber, my friend, not Drew's friend. Drew will never pick UCLA. Drew doesn't have the balls to pick UCLA. And Trace, if you're watching, I'm picking UCLA with the caveat of if UCLA wins, you're taking me to California, and I'm partying like if it was 1999 with mojitos, mosquitoes, and bees, and all this stuff. Now, we'll quickly close out the ladies' portion with, like I said, the WNBA has their draft today. Toronto Temple, Portland Fire. Now, I'm going to ask you this. Let's go to the fashion plate. Ange, you're the fashion plate for right now. You like these jerseys, or you think Toronto, first of all, Toronto are blue and white, Argos blue and white, Raptors red, TFC red and black and all that. Would you select, I don't even know what color they selected, fuchsia, or what color is that, Drew? Purple? It's like the thing on Angie's hair, purple.
Burgundy. It's like a burgundy.
Burgundy for Toronto?
I know. I agree. It wouldn't be my favorite choice. I also hate, the one thing I absolutely hate is that massive CIBC logo underneath. I think it looks idiot. Like I get it. You got to lower your sponsors.
Somebody who hates CIBC, I guarantee you, Drew, listen to this. I don't know this. I don't know her banking. What bank do you go to? Ange?
Listen, I have some thoughts about CIBC, and we're not going to talk about that on this call.
All right, so she has thoughts, but she doesn't disagree that her bank's a CIBC. All right, Drew, what do you think? What do you think of the logo? What do you think? Like, let's say this, okay? When Raptors came alive here, everybody was talking about the Raptors logo, and now everybody wants that Raptors logo, okay? So what do you think? The Temple, good name. I would have called it Toronto Towers, and you could have the CN Tower there and everything like that. But Temple is not a bad name, okay? But the color they selected, come on.
Yeah, it's a little bit. I feel it's kind of masculine a bit. Not that there's any difference really, but it's just it's something you're trying to get used to. Still, I think people are still kind of iffy about the color schemes. I think graphically it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. So I think it's just a logo that's going to have to grow on everybody, and hopefully in time people will learn to like it. But I know there are some people who say, nah, that thing is just hideous. The whole color concept and everything, the scheme. But I can handle it. I can handle it for now. We'll see how things go. Maybe they'll adjust it at some point.
I wouldn't
And
even mind like the colors as much, but like I said, it's the big logos. Like even on the back now, I see it's got a huge AT&T logo, which like I don't even know if AT&T is a big thing here in Toronto,
Here,
but
yeah,
like
I don't know in Canada.
right, like even the numbers,
AT&T
like the
is
way the
owned
numbers
by
are, it looks like
Rogers.
someone like played around in Canva and like just like I don't know, it doesn't like for me visually, it just doesn't say Toronto, doesn't scream Toronto, you know?
That's right.
And I don't know why, like last week I brought my orange WNBA hoodie and all that. Toronto should have gone with orange, right? But anyways, Drew, final question about the power there. Uh, Today they select starting at 3 o'clock or whatever. And you see the list. Who's the best player that Toronto could pick in your eyes?
I haven't actually seen the list, but if you want to read some players off, that would be great, or post
Okay,
it up.
I'm too busy. You because you type faster. You use the fingers like crazy. All right, so go ahead. Tell Drew who's on the list there and all that. But
Okay,
it
so it
really
says the top players are actually available on each team. So let me just go to Toronto.
and by the way, Portland. What do you think of Portland's? They're called the Fire, and they have cool uniforms there. Better than the I was going to say Raptors, but better than the Temple. What do you say,
I
Drew?
mean, that's all subjective, obviously. Some people do like tempo, some people will like the fire better. So yeah, it's just something that it's new. When it's new, you're gonna have skepticism. It's going to take time for people to adjust.
Like I mean, the
We'll
name is
see.
good. It's
I
just
think winning, if they start winning, people are gonna love the colors and love the uniform.
and as the only thing I can equate this, and you were a season ticket holder to Canadian Elite Basketball League, where Scarborough, the Shooting Stars logo is good. It's blue and everything, and they won the championship in 2 years and all that. Stop playing with your ball, all right? So like there, but Ange can't find anything. So Drew, now I can't see him, but Drew, tell everybody how to get a hold of you, and we'll be back here to preview NCAA men's basketball Final
Sorry.
Four. Go ahead, Drew.
Just onpointbasketball.com and at onpointbasketball on Instagram and Drew Ebanks on Twitter. That's where you can find me.
And see what happens, Ange, when he plays with his balls. All right, go ahead.
This is a family show here, buddy.
Who says it's a family show? Angie's here. You should see what she was telling me about the Blue Jay game. Come on.
All right, I hear you.
I will say that the Toronto Temple made their first trade back on April 1st. They acquired the 26th overall pick from Chicago Sky. So let's see what happens going forward. But yeah, I can't really find. It just says all top players are available for trade. So
Expansion.
We'll see what happens.
Exactly.
So tell everybody how they could, and so Drew needs to know this, how he can watch it on Roku to his hair is, one or two hairs out of place. So they're,
Yeah, for sure. So, it's a long weekend. You're going to have some extra time on your hands. So check out on all Roku devices, search Fired Up, all one word, Fired Up Network, streaming on all Roku devices. And you can find us on all social channels using the handle at Fired Up Network 1, number 1. And you can find me at She Does Sports on all social channels as well.
All right. And I got some shout outs because, I'm a man of the people. Birthdays. So March 31st, Mark Benatar's birthday. Happy belated birthday to Mark Benatar. Ken Onrod's birthday was April 1st. So happy birthday. Randy Orton could win the WWE title. His birthday was April 1st. April 2nd, Susan Walters and or Susan Hamilton. Sorry, Susan Hamilton. April the 4th is Anna. So happy birthday. But the most importantly, Drew Ebanks has just emailed me. He has not won 649 in 42 years of playing. All right. So if you have a couple shekels, $1, $2, $200, don't go away, Drew. I'm giving you props here. All right. If you have 100, 200,000, $200, $2, $5, anything, talk to Ange, sponsor us, and I'll put your book over, I'll put your basketball over. Just don't play with your balls, because look, when you play with your balls, you black out. All right. Again, we'll be back for NCAA Final Four men's side preview. Drew says Texas and Connecticut in the ladies NCAA. So does Ange, and I say UCLA and Connecticut. Stay tuned. We'll be back in a couple seconds.